Hey, bonsoir on South Africa tonight. Welcome back to eNCA. South African sprinter Shaun Maswanganyi's World Championship campaign has come to an end. This after he sustained a hamstring injury in the men's 200-meter heats. It wasn't all bad news as other South Africans Sinesipho Dambile and Uxolo Adams advanced to the semis. But it was a disappointing end for Maswanganyi, who joins us all the way from Oregon, USA, via Zoom. Great to be chatting to you. A very good morning that side. Good evening from South Africa. It must be devastating, Shaun, that your hamstring injury has forced you out of the World Champs. Is this a problem that you've had before?
I wouldn't say it's a problem that I had before, but my hamstring has been bothering me for quite a while. But like with any other sprinter, you never really 100% whenever you compete. So you just want to try to compete at your best. If your best is like 98% healthy, you want to stay at that level for as long as possible. But my hamstring injury was coming and going for the most part in the season. But I was still managing to run pretty fast times, and I actually did pretty well throughout my college season. So I was able to bring that momentum through, and I was having good practices and so forth. And it just so happened that wrong place, wrong timing, and I pulled it like literally 70 meters into my race. I pulled it.
Man, I was hoping to see you in the finals tomorrow. Speaking about that, Uxolo Adams advanced through the semi-finals of the men's 200 meters. Do you see him challenging the likes of Noah Niles and Arian Knighton?
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you look at his season's best, he has a 19.8, and he ran that pretty comfortably on the outside lane. So I feel like even when you see his race yesterday, he still let up a little bit towards the end of the line. So he still has more in the tank. I think he's running more reserved, and he still wanted to qualify pretty well. But I do believe in him, and I do believe that when he runs his best race tomorrow, if he runs his best race tomorrow, he definitely has a shot at a medal.
Shaun, there are no medals yet for Team South Africa at the World Championships. Is that a true reflection of the country's performances? What can we do better?
I would say for the most part, there's been a lot of distress within the team. I wouldn't even know where to point fingers from, but it could be in terms of organization, because a lot of the athletes got here pretty late. Some of my teammates, they got here on Thursday night before they competed. And, any other traveler or any other professional team would know that, if you're changing time zones, especially coming from South Africa, coming here, it's a 9-hour shift. You want to be here per hour day difference, or per day per hour difference. So if we're moving 9 hours back, you want to be there at least 2 weeks before, so you can start acclimatizing and getting used to everything, and letting loose and starting to ease into the new conditions. And for the most part, my teammates, obviously, they had a lot of struggles with that, especially with the visa distress and so forth. But I don't think it's a true reflection, because it was really just unlucky that a lot of them couldn't get visas in time. And on top of that, they were dealing with all this stress and all this commotion, trying to make sure they get here and compete in time.
All right, having said that, America seems to be enjoying the opportunity to host the Athletics World Championships. Has the event lived up to its expectations in your view? Is the sport growing in the States?
I'd say the sport is growing in the States, but I firmly believe that the competition should have actually been in a more central place, or like a busier city. Like if it was in somewhere in like LA, or like somewhere in the East Coast, around the busier cities like Pennsylvania and so forth, because Oregon is pretty hard to get into, so it's very expensive. Flights here are easily $3,000 from in-state alone. Like, so if I'm not in-state, but like if you're coming from Texas, coming here, you can easily pay between $2,000 to $3,000, which is like 45,000 Rand. And hotels are very scarce. So, I mean, the crowd, it was full for the last couple of days, but I remember the first day, the attendance was pretty low, and people are actually ranting about that. My coach was also speaking about that, because it's a global championship. You want to have the stands full 24/7, and the stadium, the capacity is around about 17,000, 20,000. So, you really should have a bigger crowd than that. If you look at other world championships like London, the stadium is like 50 to 90,000, and it's always packed. So, for the most part, I'd say that they handled the World Championships well, but they should have done a better job at hosting it at a busier city where everything is a lot easier to access.
Oh, man, well said, Shaun. We saw Jamaica dominate the women's sprints in the 100 meters. Do you see them continuing to do better than rivals the United States in years to come?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, with sprints, it's very volatile. You can be on top of your game this year, and next year it's nothing. So if you look at it, the women have been pretty consistent from the Jamaican side for the last decade and a half. So, I mean, it's going to be tough, but USA does have a lot of stars coming up, and actually the whole world really. And I feel like track is actually starting to catch up on a global scale. So, people are slowly creeping in, and, it might not look like it, obviously, because they're not finishing top 3 and not getting the spotlight, but, people are getting faster and faster. So competition is rising. So, that top 3 is not always guaranteed as it used to be like back then.
All right, in closing, Sean, because we have run out of time, is Paris 2024 your next major competition now, that your injury has ruled you out of the Commonwealth Games?
No. Next year we have the World Championships and probably still other meets as well, like a lot smaller meets, maybe African champs if there is, and so forth. The injury is going to rule me out for probably another 3 to 5 weeks. After that, I'll start working out again, slowly but surely. But it's nothing too major or anything too severe where I'll need surgery. So I'll be back in action soon.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time. I was going to ask you how your finance degree is going, and the picture you took with Travis Scott this week, your social media was buzzing. Obviously, you said many years ago you had hoped to be at a Travis Scott concert. Your mom didn't allow you to do that, and you finally met him at the World Championships. But well done again, for just how you've competed and represented South Africa. Sean Maswanganyi from Oregon, USA, talking to us on his campaign in the World Athletics Championships, his injury, and also withdrawing from the Commonwealth Games.